Hey guys, real quick, welcome to the channel. This is a 1760 low roughneck with a great big jet foot on the back of it, but somebody along the way pulled some tiny boat nation shit, and we got a lot of wood to tear out of this boat to make it functional so you can actually stand on this deck and not just look at it, okay? Enough about that. My name's Dustin Apple, and here I like boats. I love boats, but more importantly, I like to make boats user-friendly, tough as nails, and the way they should have been made from the factory, let's be honest, right? So we're going to get rid of all this wood. We're going to do aluminum decks, front and rear. We're going to take that janky-ass console and move it up here to the center like it should be on a jet boat. And we're going to turn this boat into something very special for this owner. So, if you like boat builds, might as well hit that subscribe box and stick with me for the next 4 or 5 videos, because in the next 3, 4, maybe even 5 weeks, we're going to do a complete rebuild of this boat, and we're just not going to cut any corners. That's all there is to it. So, stick with me. Today's the teardown. We're going to tear down in this video, a little time lapse or something, and get this sucker off the wagon so we can work on it nice and safely. And then we're going to talk about some parts that we've got to go ahead and order to get headed to the house. That way we can do more in the next couple of days. So, all right, let's get into it. So real quick, before we get started on this teardown, we done got her off the wagon, got her on some rollers. Let's just do a rundown of what all we're going to fix and where we're standing to begin with. So first off, you can see there is an oxidation line from leaving it in the river. We're going to buff all that out and put a coat of etching primer over top of it to stop that. The fish finder or transducer is screwed to the hull, which, as you can see right over there to one side of it, that it's got multiple holes in it. We're going to patch all them, fix that, get that straight. Then up here, the original hull is pods, okay, pod seating. This over here and this over here is original, but they put 3/4 inch plywood on top of it to be able to get those seat bases in there. And then in between, they got the starting battery, a bilge pump, and a Mr. Bubbles for bait, okay? And just kind of boxed it in with a heavy duty lid. You heard how heavy that was, right? That thing probably weighs 35 pounds. And then the console, which is actually 2 pieces, where they extended it and got it up here taller so a guy could stand up and drive it. So that's, you know, no big deal. He wants to keep the visor, okay? He wants to keep his fish finder. We're going to get rid of all this crap, clean this up, new wheel, new helm, new cables. It's actually a decoy motor, come out of Missouri. You know how you guys like to do over there when you're screaming fly. Marked up as a Johnson 40 as a decoy, because nobody really knows what a Johnson looks like. Make your own jokes. But that's actually a 115 Pro XS Mercury. So the guy who bought that spent big money to get that thing white. And then apparently he got caught by Game and Fish a couple times on a place where he wasn't supposed to have a motor any bigger than a 40. So it come up for sale. This boy snagged it, and he's got a hell of a nice motor on the on this hull here. Let's look at this, by the way. I've never seen fins like that, Latrell fins. I'm assuming that is to make a slightly wider footprint to be able to keep the nose down, but I don't know. If you know what that is, drop in the comments and tell everybody what it is and what it does. I'm just guessing. So this console is going away. We're not going to reuse this, okay? We're going to build a custom console right here, and then put small steps on either side of it up to our 8-foot deck. Now, the only thing that he's got inside his 8-foot deck is a couple batteries, okay? There is a charger over there on the other wall, but it's not really meant for marine use, so I'm gonna try to get him a new one of those. And then this is a fabricated live well. I don't really have a problem with it, other than it's kind of shallow, and they built that pan on there, I'm assuming, so when you took off, all the water didn't run to the back and run up here and run everywhere. So we're gonna replumb that and try to tear it out of there and salvage it. But if we can't, we can't. We'll see what happens. But I'd like to drop it down 2 or 3 inches. That way that water has to go up that high before it can actually get out of the hatch. And then he had light rails, just because they were cheap. He only bow fishes a little bit. Average guy, probably bow fishes 4 or 5 times a year. Doesn't really think that he's in need of having quality bow fishing lights. But we're going to change that for him. We're going to get him a nice little low budget DC setup to where he can run good lights off his battery, not have to have the investment of a generator. And then everything else is pretty much cut and dry. He's got driving lights, some little boxes that he made himself, but the problem with that is he didn't box in the back of them or put a shield on the back of them, so he still gets that light glare on the back. And so we're gonna take care of that for him, as well as some custom little touches. They're gonna go right in this area for him, and he's gonna end up with a really nice boat. So let's get into tearing down and get the impact drivers going. There's probably 20 pounds of screws and bolts in this thing. Get all this wood out of here and see what kind of diet we did today. Well guys, if y'all know, 2021, this is the first time we've been able to see the sun in a while. But there's the scrap pile of stuff that we've taken out of the boat today. I would say an estimated 400 pounds on the light side that we've taken out of this boat. Everything was 3/4 inch treated plywood, and best I can see, there was at least 2 full sheets in there. We took out a little bit of foam, and those 3, and they wasn't too bad. They were a little waterlogged, but really wasn't too bad. So we're gonna leave the rest of this in this floor. Floor's in good shape. We're just gonna put a new covering on it. Back here in the back, we obviously removed the console and removed everything that was screwed down to this boat. Got a little bit of work to do back here. The plan is to box this in. We're going to go up to the rail, okay? Box that side and this side in, and leave this open for a splash well, okay? And then out here we'll drop down and then come out another 18 inches or so, and that will be our seating that goes across here. Probably have a little bit of storage underneath it, semi-dry storage, and then we're going to put all our batteries right here. Up here on the front again, we're going to keep our 8-foot deck like we said. So our 8-foot deck will come to right here. We're going to do a full stand-up console with a step on either side. Right in front of that, no, actually underneath the console, we're going to do a 40-gallon fuel tank. In front of it, long ways here, we're going to keep the weight in the center of the boat and do that that small little fish tub, okay, live well, right in the center there. And then we're going to do some elevated storage. Put a little shelf up here. That way when we box it in, everything is high and dry with a couple other hatches up there. So lots of work to do, but for 4 hours of work today, we got a lot done. No big surprises. The front of the hull here, right here in this little triangle, had a pretty good collision, but there wasn't any damage. I was able to just hammer that out with a mallet. And then the side of our hull had a little bit of damage right here, either here or here, one to the other. But I beat that out and got it back up straight to where it needs to be. So we've got a clean blank slate and ready to go ahead and build on top of. Guys, thanks for joining us today. If you like this format, that's pretty much how we're going to do it. I'm not getting the big cameras out for this build, but we're going to do the hyperlapse on the phone. I think it works out pretty good. You guys get to see what we're actually doing. And if there's anything that I need to explain, we'll make sure that we do that. If you guys get any comments or questions, concerns, go ahead and drop it down in the comments, and we'll keep this active as we go through this build. But appreciate you joining me. Don't forget to share the video and share the playlist as it goes along. And it's going to be pretty quick, guys. I'm going to say probably about 4 weeks. We should have this thing back on the wagon and headed out of here. But I definitely got some parts to order. And when we come back tomorrow, we're going to be talking about all the parts that I'm ordering and a few little obstacles that we've got to overcome already in this build that we hadn't planned for. But that's all right. No big deal. We'll get through it. So I'll see you guys tomorrow. Thanks for joining me.